Hello, once again. This is Tom Sullivan, and glad to be with you once more. And my guest today is Kristina Sperano. Kristina is an office manager and a sales assistant. She works with the baseball great Mike Torres, who played for the Boston Red Sox and as well as the Yankees. And Kristina works with him. And Kristina thinks that she's not an interesting person, which is not true. And she thinks that she's not pretty, which is definitely not true. But you'll all be learning a lot more about Kristina, and I will too. We're very happy to have her here today. So welcome, Kristina.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Uh-huh. So tell me about yourself a little bit. You are originally from, actually I say originally from New Rochelle, but you still do live in New Rochelle, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh. And tell me about your childhood. What was it like growing up in New Rochelle?
It was really nice. Growing up in the suburbs, nice, residential area, a lot of children the same age, playing outside, doing the usual stuff, bike riding, and, everything. Every day we spent was outside.
Right.
Playing games and just having a good time.
Now, you were telling me you have kind of an unusual family situation because you have a twin brother and another brother who is 6 months younger than you are. Tell me about that a little bit.
Yes, well, my twin brother and I were adopted at birth. And at the time, my mother that adopted us was pregnant with my other brother, David.
Right.
So 6 months after adopting us, she gave birth to him. So we pretty much grew up like triplets.
Yes. That, people must have given you some looks, I would imagine, when you were a kid. All these little kids running around together.
Yeah.
Your mother must have a lot of energy, too, to be able to deal with 3 babies simultaneously.
She didn't have any help. She did it by herself. I mean, my father went to work in the city. He worked down at the World Trade Center. And she, had to take us to school, had to, cook, clean, do everything.
Right, old-fashioned stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Now, you have another brother as well who was younger than you.
Yes.
And he's how much younger?
He is 10 years younger.
10 years younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the only girl.
Yep.
Uh-huh. What was that like?
Daddy's little princess.
Uh-huh. Right.
No, it was nice. Because in a way, you get special treatment.
Right.
But, I mean, I still had to be treated the same way as my brothers.
Yes.
It wasn't fair. We were all the same age, so.
Okay.
But it is nice. You get to have your own toys and your own clothes, and you don't really have to share those things, although we did sometimes share each other's items, but it was a nice experience.
And your close family?
Yes,
Everybody gets along
we're very
real
close.
well? You have aunts, uncles, cousins, the people who kind of hang out?
We really don't. We're not as close with our cousins as we used to be. I would say we're probably closer to our cousins in my mother's country, where she's from Sweden.
Okay, so she's originally from Sweden?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She came here as an au pair when she was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she met my father. He grew up in New Rochelle, and they met out one night at a bar, actually, in Mamaroneck.
Oh, really?
I think she went in to use the phone, and then he offered her a drink, and that's how it started.
Very, very romantic.
Yeah.
And you said he used to work at the World Trade Center? What kind of work does your dad do?
He works for U.S. Customs.
Okay.
So now he's at One Penn Plaza.
Right.
On 34th Street, so, yeah.
What were you like when you were a kid? What did you think about being when you grew up? What kind of...
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And, I loved animals and all of that.
Did you have a lot of pets when you were a kid? Or,
We had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, we've had 3 dogs. This is the 3rd one my parents have right now, and she's pretty old. But we had a dog, and then a stray cat followed my neighbor home, and they brought that cat over to us. So then we had a cat at the same time, and then after Stubby, that was the first dog, he died, we got Punch.
Right.
And then after Punch, we got Trixie, when I was probably going into my first year of college.
So you always loved animals.
Yeah.
And you thought about taking care of them, being a veterinarian. What happened with that?
Well, I couldn't really deal with the thought of killing an animal or, It was devastating when our first dog died.
Yes.
I remember Stubby was really sick, and my parents took him to the vet, And my mother came home, and I had to see her talking to my neighbor from across the street with this collar in her hand. And I'm by the door just waiting for her to come tell me where Stubby went, if he's at the hospital getting better at the vet. And finally, I have to run up to her because she was just talking away with my neighbor.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, no, Stubby's not coming home." And then the way she said it was that he was on the table and he picked up his paw and he kind of waved goodbye and shut his eyes. And you know, I believed that all these years. Then he was just like, I mentioned it not that long ago, and they're like, "Oh, come on, do you really think that's what happened? They had to give him a shot."
Well, not to make you nervous or anything, but there are millions of people watching us right now. And you just made them all cry. You just made America cry. The story about the poor dog,
Yeah.
So maybe it was better that you didn't become a veterinarian.
Yeah.
You seem like a very kind, soft-hearted person to me, and it would be difficult seeing animals in pain.
Yeah.
I think that might be difficult. But then you got interested in fashion, and you ended up going to, I believe, Fashion Institute of Technology?
Yes.
What was your interest in that? Where'd that come from?
I took a fashion class in high school. It was, just a class where you learn how to sew, and not that I continued with any of that.
Right.
I really didn't get into the whole design aspect or any of that. But, I knew I wanted to get into something more exciting. I didn't want to go to just a regular, liberal arts college. I wanted to be in the city and kind of experience that life and, fashion. It was really kind of exciting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I always loved growing up, being real girly and having a lot of skirts and dresses.
Did you like to play dress up when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Kind of thing? Right.
And play with makeup and jewelry. And I remember my mother letting me go to board school with my green eyeshadow on. And I had all my Barbies. And,
little child. Right?
Yeah, I enjoyed all that.
Okay. So you thought you might want to design fashion, or you thought at some point you might like to do that?
Just wanted somehow be in the fashion industry, yeah. And so I ended up going for fashion merchandising management. Actually, at one point, I went there for a semester, and then I switched into textile development marketing, which is just dealing with the fabrics. But that was a lot of numbers and dealing with yardage and all of that. And
sounds kind of boring, actually.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the exciting part was learning about all the different fibers and just learning about what happens to them when exposed to different things, and kind of the science part of it was fun. But then after that, it got a little bit too technical.
Right.
And I realized I wanted to be back more just on the business end, fashion business. So I ended up staying there in that major.
Okay, and then that's what you got your degree in.
That's what I got my degree in, fashion merchandising management.
Now, that was several years ago.
And
what kinds of things have you been doing since then?
Well, after college, I interned for a cosmetic company. It was a very small startup. And cosmetics was actually something I really loved too. And while I was in college, I even worked over here at Bloomingdale's for Estee Lauder and did makeup. That was really exciting.
Makeup artist.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay,
That's something that I was pretty good at.
Yeah.
And so I interned at this cosmetic company, and then I stayed with them for almost a year after. And then this opportunity came up at Coach at the accessory company.
Right.
So I ended up working there and got into the merchandising department.
Right.
So I started off as a merchandising assistant and then became an assistant merchandise manager and was there for almost 5 years. And, corporate life and everything, there's a lot going on, a lot of restructuring, a lot of, different people and just politics and, kind of got a little burnt out from the whole thing and, wanted to make a change. So, I ended up falling into this job.
Right, working with Mike Torres.
And
how's that?
It's great. It's, we're a distributor of promotional products, so we sell products to companies that have their logos on it, or any kind of special products they want for different events, if they want giveaways, or if they want to purchase products for golf outings, seminars, anything. Right. So.
But yet you mentioned to me that you were not particularly a sports fan when you were growing
No,
up.
no.
So here you are up to your neck in sports, and how has that been as an adjustment for you?
It's fine. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not all sports,
Right.
you know. I mean, it happens to be since he was a baseball player
Right.
that a lot of it does have to do with sports products, but you know, it's fine. I mean, he knows I think that I'm not that into the whole sport thing and you know, I go out to sports bars and I'll go watch a game or something or
Right.
hang out with friends, you know, when there's a big, you know, Super Bowl or
Right.
you know, World Series or something going on, but I really don't
You're not a
pay much
huge, but
attention. Yeah.
you're not a total non-fan, but
No.
it's not the biggest thing in your life. Where do you see yourself going as far as work-wise? What would you like to be doing?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. I'm kind of going through a little self-discovery here.
Okay.
I know I want to be doing something more creative. I think, you know, in the future, I would maybe like to do something on my own, you know, entrepreneur.
Right.
So, but if it was something cosmetic related or something just more creative, you know, that would be exciting for
Something
me.
interesting to you.
Yeah, I think just finding out what that is the hard part.
That's the process. That's what life's about.
Yeah.